Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Beware the Board, a horror podcast where we watch a randomly selected horror movie every single week. I'm Bob.
And I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Welcome to season 10.
It's Ben 10. Ben 10. Holy shit. Good show. Did you
Yeah.
watch Ben 10 as a kid?
A little bit. I was not
Yeah.
like a huge fan.
I wasn't super big on it either until it got to the one where he was a teenager. And then I was like, hell yeah, this shit's fucking sweet.
I'm a teenager. He's a teenager.
Yeah, bro. That's exactly what. When he can turn into aliens, that's fucking sweet.
I don't know. I thought it was a fine show.
There's a diehard fan base for that show. You better not piss them off.
No, I don't dislike it, although I haven't seen any of the new stuff.
Oh, neither have I. I outgrew it and went, it's fine.
I just was never super into it.
Fair enough.
What did I watch instead? You know what's great?
What are you about to say? You're about to piss me off.
Just for Cartoon Network, like early 2000s Cartoon Network shows.
Sure.
Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Oh, Ed, Edd n Eddy is so good.
I love that show.
It's so incredible. I've actually, I'll plug this. It's not even a plug. This dude's just really cool. There's this dude on YouTube that is remaking Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Oh, it's
called Peach Creek.
Peach Creek, because that's where they live.
Yeah. And there's a couple episodes out now, I think.
Is
But
there
he's doing
episodes out now?
I think so. He's doing it all by hand, and he has like the blessings from the creator to do it. But it's basically Ed, Edd n Eddy once they get to high school, and like it looks so crazy. It looks so cool, and it's like drawn in the original art style and everything.
Good show. It was one of the last like hand-drawn TV shows.
Yeah.
Like cartoons.
It's so cool, man. I love that show so much. I thought you were gonna hit me with some cursed show that I'd never even thought of.
No, I love Ed, Ed, and Eddy.
Ed, Edd n Eddy's so good.
It came on like every day after school.
Yeah.
So I'd watch it all the time.
No, I watched the shit out of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy
Watched
too.
a lot of that too.
Grim is so good.
Just Jamaican death.
Jamaican death. God. Okay. I think we should address the elephant in the room, Ben.
Bob, don't talk about yourself that way.
Oh, you piece of shit. You're despicable.
I was like, should I say this? Yes.
I'm not even that fat, bro.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, that's how it felt.
But you are in my room and you're not normally here.
True.
Which is the way of saying, hey guys, we're recording in a different recording studio.
Yeah. So if it sounds weird, sorry.
Sorry.
We'll fix it.
We
Over
are
time.
in my house today
Yeah.
because for this season, I think I mentioned it earlier, I went ahead and bought Blu-rays for basically every single film that we can watch this season. And very specifically, I tried to get 4K Blu-rays for our own enjoyment when I could. And I have a 4K Blu-ray player. Bob does not have Blu-ray players or anything.
Well, I have a Blu-ray player.
You have a PS4.
It's not a
That's
4K Blu-ray player.
Very loud.
Hey, not as. You're gonna complain about that when we got this happening behind me.
In either case, we probably sound a bit different because we're in
Yeah.
a different room.
But also, this is my fault. I'm going to tell them about this because I think it's stupid. You know, all the recording stuff was at my house. And I might have forgotten to grab the headphones that plug into the mixer. So we weren't able to listen to this before we recorded it. So if it sounds really bad, oops.
I hope it doesn't sound bad.
If it sounds really bad, I think I'll just like put out a PSA or something. Be like,
all right. Well,
stop.
here's hoping.
Here's hoping it sounds fine. Meh.
In either case, new season.
New season. We should explain how the show works for the new season, Ben.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
But look. Okay, so sometimes my friends listen to our podcast and they give me feedback. Okay, and someone recently came to me and said, "Hey, I really like your show, but you guys should explain how the board works more often for new people." And this is a good place to start if someone start with a new season, Ben.
That's fair. You're not wrong.
No, you're just trying to be lazy.
Yeah. And okay, so if you're new to Beware the Board, how our format works is we have a board. It's not a real board, but it's a fictional concept.
We should get a physical board. I
We
would love
should,
to
but
have a real board.
That's a lot of work.
You're right.
In either case, what we do is we choose 3 categories for each season. One is chosen by me, one chosen by Bob, and then we have one that's like randomly selected every season. And each category gets 3 spots. Ideally, a spot gets 1 movie, but it can get 2, depending on if we need to do that. And we use the like category and spot system not only to choose movies, but for Bob to select them, because he doesn't know what anything is on the board.
Nope.
There's 9 mystery spots. All he knows is the category for each.
Yeah. It's pretty simple. It's a fun way to keep the show fresh. We've watched a lot of random bullshit due to categories.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
But we've also missed out on a bunch of classic student categories.
It's a little funky, but it works.
It works, and I think we've watched some films that It Being Random made it worth it. You know what I mean? Like stuff that I'm like, we would never have watched this otherwise.
Oh, yeah, no, we've covered stuff that we wouldn't have, I think at this point at least,
Yeah.
without the board.
So it's cool. It's a fun little thing.
With that being said, we choose categories at the end of each season for our season wrap-ups. So our categories for this season are kaiju films. That's mine.
I'm excited about that one.
Which is going to be really cool. Our random, which was chosen by Bob. Season 2, I think.
I think I pitched it for season 2, yeah.
We got a mega list that we select from. But that is cosmic horror.
Oh.
Not to be confused with Lovecraftian, which we already did. And I made the difference, like films actually associated with Lovecraft versus cosmic horror stuff. And then Bob's category, which was zombies.
Stop. I fucking hate that shit.
Which are zombie comedies.
Yes. Thank you for saying the full title and not shortening it to some heinous crime.
Like Thrillamedy?
I hate Hallucination. You do this all the time. You have a lot now.
I love Hallucinations.
Hallucination's stupid. That one makes me the angriest, I think.
Well, seeing as it's from like late in the franchise, I think it's okay.
From super late in the franchise. But also, you say it so much more often than the other ones usually.
Yeah.
Because we talk about Friday the 13th way more than we talk about arachnophobia.
Because it annoys you.
Ooh. It does. It makes me really mad.
Before we get into like actually choosing what spot we're watching today, though, did you have any news?
I have one piece of news.
Okay.
Do you have anything?
No.
Okay. This one's sad. Sorry to like start the season on a sad note, but sad stuff happens sometimes, you know? Unfortunately, the shining star, Shelley Duvall, has passed away at 75.
Damn, that sucks.
That sucks, man. She also was in Brewster McCloud, McCabe and Mrs. Miller, Thieves Like Us, Nashville, Three Women. She was in Annie Hall. Like, she was in a bunch of really stuff, but the big thing she's super known for is being in The Shining.
And fucking hated making that movie.
And it just really, like, we talk about it a lot, but doing horror stuff in this day and age it's tough because a lot of the cool shit that, like, built the stuff we're getting to watch now, people are dying, and it sucks that we never get to see them.
Yeah, I mean, I think on a positive note, it's kind of one of the special things about cinema in general is the fact that cinema is objectively very recent. I mean, movies as we know them, as like with sound, have only been around for what, 100 years at this point, roundabouts, and film itself has only been around for, depending on what you consider to be like film, maybe an extra 30, 50 years. So like a lot of people from the birth of the medium are still around, and that's super cool.
It is super cool.
But they're all really old.
Yeah.
So it's cool that we can meet them at the very least.
Yeah. No, it is cool. Okay, hold on. Can we talk? You want to spoil something else while we're here?
What?
Speaking of meeting people, I mean, I think we decided we're gonna do it.
Oh, we're going to a convention again this year, guys.
Yeah, we're going to the same one.
Same one as last year.
That's the plan currently.
Which I think we name dropped last year.
I don't remember if I did or not.
It's Scarefest.
Yeah.
It's in what, Lexington, Kentucky?
Yeah.
It's really big.
It's real big.
I've gone a couple years now. I think my first time was in like 2018, 2019, something like that. And it has grown exponentially since I first started. It is now pretty large for East Coast Horror Fest. So if you're in the area, I'd highly recommend going to it. It's a lot of fun.
No, it's super, super dope. I mean, I had a really good time when we went last year, but this year, Ben, I think we're going to have the best time ever.
Bob is really excited because some special guests.
More than one special guest, even.
He's really excited about are going to be there. The one that I was like, okay, Bob, I'm going to name this one person, and you're going to have to go even if you're poor as dirt, is Dick Warlock's supposed to be there.
I'm so excited to meet Dick Warlock. He's so fucking cool.
And for anyone who's curious, he is the Michael Myers actor in Halloween 2.
Yes, the best one.
As well as one of the android guys from
like
Bob's favorite Halloween 3,
Halloween
Season
movie,
of the Witch.
But it's not my least favorite anymore, Ben.
It's really good. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. I'm just mad about it.
Yeah. And then his name's also Dick Warlock, which Bob finds funny.
Oh, but his name is Dick Warlock, and it's fucking sweet. He's so cool.
Other guys who are going to be there, like the whole main cast of the Blair Witch Project's going to be there, which is
which
pretty
we
cool.
haven't seen, so it doesn't matter to me.
Who
yet.
else were you excited about?
Fucking Hatchet people, bro.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Adam Green's gonna be there.
all the Hatchet people are going to be there.
Perry Shen's gonna be there. Who I
Oh,
have to
yeah.
get Perry Shen to sign
I got to
something.
get a picture with Terry Shen.
Skeet Ulrich is gonna be there. Matthew Lillard. There's a bunch of people. I'm
Yeah.
really excited, man.
It's great every year, and they haven't announced everyone. So
Yeah.
if you're really into it, you live around here, I'd recommend it.
No, it's super sweet. I'm really excited.
We're going to be there. You don't know what we look like.
No,
But
and you never will.
you are welcome to say hi.
If you hear two people call each other Bob and Ben and you think it's us, try it and see how many times you get beat up.
I don't think anyone's going to beat you up there.
I will.
Why?
No, I'm saying you say I will beat you up. I'll throw down.
You can take Bob.
Okay, bro. Come on.
Let's be honest.
Call me fat and now you call me weak. What's wrong with you?
You're neither, but I wouldn't bet on you in a fight.
Okay. Are we gonna move on to the podcast part of the podcast?
Yeah, so kaiju, cosmic, zombies. Which one are you picking today? I will say, I think I did a great job picking out everything. It's a
Okay.
pretty stacked season.
You say that every time though. Well, that's
No, it's pretty stacked this season.
Well, what was that one season we had like straight fives like the whole season?
I can't guarantee it's going to be like that where everything's amazing, but I think everything is going to be cool.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yeah. All right. Look, I hate to do this to you. I know you're excited about kaijus, and I am too. And cosmic horror is tempting because I think I've gained a stomach for some stuff and I can handle it now. He's shaking his head because he knows I can't, but it's fine. But I'm choosing my category. I know we just watched a zombie film for the last movie, episode of last season. But, like, they're cool, bro. Why the way they got pitched that category twice now? Well, zombie-related stuff twice now.
Yeah.
And one of our favorite films, my favorite movie of all time is a zombie movie. Come on.
We watched the remake of it.
Oh,
Episode 89.
Stop.
Daily Dead.
I'm gonna
Bloodline.
erase that from existence.
No, you're going to keep it in because you're too lazy.
I hate that fucking movie.
I know you do.
Okay.
I love my thumbnail for it because it's the dumbest scene from that entire movie.
I can't believe you chose that of all things. I thought
I
it
don't
was
care
so
about
funny.
spoiling that.
Spoiling a dog shit film. Anyway, I'm choosing zombie comedies. I have all three spots, Ben. I can choose whatever I want.
Yeah, you can choose whatever you want.
What's in spot number 2?
In 2,
Yeah, sure.
today, we are going to be watching a film I don't think you've ever heard of.
Oh, that's so good. I love when this happens on the
Now,
show.
You might have because it is like a big cult classic, but it's Brain Dead.
I've never heard of it.
But in the United States, because that's the international title,
Oh,
it's an
okay.
international film. There was some right issues in the United States, and I think Canada as well,
Huh.
where there was already a film named Brain Dead, I believe. So they had
Okay.
to change the name. So in the States, it's known as Dead Alive. For this, I'm probably going to be using both interchangeably,
Sure.
just depending on how I'm feeling.
So
But-
it's either Brain Dead or Dead Alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dead Alive's the United States one, so I'm probably
Gotcha.
going to be calling it
I mean, we should try and do that.
that more often than Brain Dead, which is the actual title.
I kind of like the actual title more.
They're both pretty nice.
Yeah. Dead Alive's not bad, though.
Description. Bloody hell.
What the fuck? Bloody. Okay. Jesus
I just
Christ.
thought the accent was fun.
The accent was fun. It was
The
not bad.
description's bloody hell. Length, an hour and 44 minutes long.
Not too long.
I'm going to put a note here. There is multiple versions of this film.
Okay.
The full-length one is the one that's 104 minutes.
Okay.
That's the uncut version. It's very hard to find because this film got banned and cut in a lot of places,
Banned. Oh, hell yeah. That's the
including
best.
the United States.
Oh, shit.
But I was able to find the 104-minute one, so that's what
Hell
we're
yeah,
watching.
dude.
Unfortunately, this is a funny thing. This is, I think, the only film we're watching this season that isn't on disc.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I did all that work, bringing all my stuff over here, getting all this set up so we can watch it, and now we don't even have to be here for this.
You had a 1 in 9 chance.
It's the only one? Are
It's
you
the
fucking
only
kidding
one.
me? Oh my god, I'm so fucking unlucky sometimes.
Sometimes.
Brother, you don't even know.
Review scores, IMDb gave it a 7.1 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
Tomato Meter gave it an 89%,
Oh,
and an audience score of 86%.
I know I'm excited about this category, so them being high is like good. But also, I'm kind of taking that with a grain of salt because this style of film is very general audience in my mind. You know what I mean? Like this feels like a movie that you could show to most people and they would enjoy. At least
This
like
movie?
the concept.
Oh, the concept.
Yes.
Yes. This movie. Mm,
Oh no! Were you in a trash can?
uh,
We're at your house now. I have to
I
meet
was
your
I
trash
was
can.
thinking about it, but I can't really easily move a trash can up here. I got a bucket though.
A bucket. I've been relegated to the bucket.
Awards: 14 wins and 7 nominations.
This movie is well liked.
Notable actors: Timothy Balm as Lionel Cosgrove. He played Ken Wilder from Mercy Peak. He was on 49 episodes between 2001 and 2004. Diana Penalver as Paquita Maria Sanchez. She was Chero Baena from Las Chicas de Hoy en Dia. She was on 26 episodes between 1991 and 1992. Elizabeth Moody as Vera Cosgrove. She was Lobelia and The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, Extended Edition. Ian Watkin as Uncle Les. He was a fair official in Charlotte's Web. Have you seen Charlotte's Web?
The animated one?
No, the
Or the
live,
live
action
action one? I haven't seen the live action one.
Okay.
I've seen the animated one.
I was like, there's an actual chance this time. Brenda Kendall as Nurse McTavish. She was Gary Holden's mother in Out of the Blue. Stuart Devaney as Father McGruder. He was Renfield in The Amazing Extraordinary Friends on 26 episodes between 2007 and 2010.
Huh. I thought that was some Dracula movie or something.
You mean Renfield, the one
Yeah.
with Nicolas Cage?
Well, no. I just didn't know if there was a Dracula.
Oh,
in a
like
Dracula.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Stephen Paps as Zombie McGruder. He was Bluebeard and Piano. Jed Brophy as Void. He was Nori in The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Glenys Levistam as Nora Matheson. She was Mrs. Mack in Black Sheep. Louis Rowe as Mr. Matheson. He was the investor in Black Sheep. Tina Regitine as Mandy. She was Jenny McFarlane from Mirror Mirror on 26 episodes between 1997 and 1998. Harry Sinclair as Roger. He was Isildur in The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings. Davina Whitehouse as Paquita's grandmother. She was Elsie in Sleeping Dogs. Brian Surgent as Vet. He was Ted Sandyman and Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings. And that should be it. By the way, did I tell you the name or the date for Brain Dead?
No, I was about to ask that because I didn't think you did.
This movie is from 1992.
1992. Can I take a guess of where it was filmed?
I was like, there should be a good hint about where this is from.
It's New Zealand.
It is New Zealand.
That's so a 1992 New Zealand zombie film. This is gonna be fucking sweet.
I was gonna say there's one other time where we've gotten a bunch of like Lord of the Rings actors. Do you remember what it was?
What movie? I mean, what are the films that watch they filmed in New Zealand? Blackwater, Deathgasm.
Deathgasm. Yep.
Deathgasm. Oh, the second one of that is. I'm so excited about that. Sorry, you just brought back memories to something.
All right. As for the director, I don't think it's anyone you're familiar with,
Okay.
but you know people like them. They're popular. And again, I don't think you've seen any of his films, but a little guy known as Peter Jackson.
Why did you? Okay. First of all, that was fucked up. Because hey, you're fucking dishonoring Peter Jackson. First of all, and second of all, I fucking love Peter Jackson.
Oh, have you seen Peter Jackson movies?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a horror movie made by Peter Jackson.
That is. This is
Imagine
gonna be sweet.
the scale and grandioseness. Now convert that to horror.
That's awesome. Oh no, this is gonna be sweet.
He's also directed Lord of the Rings franchise. We all know that. Writers Stephen Sinclair. He wrote Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. Fran Walsh. She co-writes with Peter Jackson a lot because they're married.
Oh, that's cool.
So she's also written a bunch of the Lord of the Rings films, but also King Kong,
yeah,
the
Peter
2005
Jackson
one.
That's a good movie.
That is a good King Kong adaptation.
Yep.
Shockingly enough.
With Jack Black in it, which is
With
always a
Jack
plus.
Black in it.
I love Jack Black.
He's great. He's so old now.
I know. Seeing him do stuff now, he's got that big ass white beard.
Tenacious D is coming like to town.
Are you serious?
I don't know if they're coming to town, but they're like,
Coming nearby.
yeah.
More stuff I
We
don't
can get
spend
tickets.
money on. Why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me?
I need someone to go with me.
I want to go.
And then the last writer's Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings franchise.
Yeah.
I will say, he does have a cameo in this film.
Oh, that's fucking sweet.
He's the Undertaker's assistant. And if you're looking for other things he's in, he does a bunch of cameos and stuff that he does. But one that I found that was really funny is he's the thief dressed as Santa in Hot Fuzz.
You know what's crazy? Of those films, I have not seen that one. I've
haven't-
seen all the rest of them.
All the rest of what?
The trilogy that
Oh,
they
the
did.
Cornello trilogy?
Yeah.
You've seen...
At World's End, Shaun of the Dead. I haven't seen
Okay,
Hot
you haven't
Fuzz.
seen the middle one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, and everyone says it's the best one.
Hot Fuzz is really good. It's
Yeah.
one of those hard things, though, where I've probably seen it the most
Yeah, that's what how a lot of people feel about it.
because I think out of all of them, that one was on streaming for like
'Cause
a
it was on
long
Netflix for a
time.
long time.
Yeah, so I just saw it a bunch, and I think a bunch of other people did the same. And so, objectively, it might be one of, if not the best of the trilogy, but it's really hard for me to judge it because I'm like, well, I haven't seen Shaun of the Dead a lot,
I love Shaun
and
of
it's
the
really
Dead.
great, and it feels fresher. And then I've seen The World's End, I think once.
I've also seen that one once, and it's good.
And it's good, and so I'm pretty sure if I ever rewatch them, I'm gonna probably enjoy that one the most because it's the least familiar.
Sure, that makes sense.
Budget's estimated at $3 million.
That is not a lot of. What is 1992?
Yeah,
This is pre Lord of the Rings. Holy
and this
shit.
is pre-Lord of the Rings. Peter Jackson was not a
I
famous
was about to say
person.
Peter Jackson does not.
He was
he's not doing
basically
crazy yet.
nobody when this film came
Oh,
out.
that's so cool.
This is it's like his third movie or something.
Damn.
It's really early.
I don't know if Peter Jackson has enough horror movies under his belt, but Peter Jackson as a category would be fun.
No, he doesn't have enough.
Yeah,
It's this, and there's a couple other things that might count that
we could watch Lord
he
of the
did
Rings.
in his early days.
One movie in every spot.
Extended edition.
No, we'd be here for days.
They have a box set of the extended edition 4K.
I've never been able to get through the entire extended edition. I usually get I would say 3/4 of the way through the Two Towers, and I just can't do it.
It's just so much.
It's so long. Like, I love those movies so much, but they're so long.
Bob's undiagnosed ADHD really shoots him in the foot.
Really shoots me in the foot with that one.
Box office, and this is U.S. and Canada only.
Okay.
I don't have any statistics about anything else. Was only $242,000.
Damn.
If you couldn't tell from this film was a flop.
That sucks.
Now, once again, part of that is because it got banned and heavily cut in a lot of places.
Oh, my God.
So keep that in mind. Already covered country of origin. Same thing with alternative titles. Tagline: some things won't stay down, even after they die.
Not bad. I don't hate it.
Yeah. Okay. Couple minor facts before we get into it. At the time of production, this was actually Peter Jackson's most expensive film.
Oh, that's
I think
cool.
I think by a good bit, too. Important to note that this film received good critical response, but obviously it didn't do well in the box office.
Oh, that sucks.
It has since gained a pretty large cult following, and at least by those who know it, is largely considered one of the goriest films of all time.
Oh, my God.
So that's cool, right?
That is cool. That's exciting.
Principal photography took place over roughly 11 weeks on location in Wellington, New Zealand.
Huh.
I think that might be their capital.
I have no idea.
My New Zealand geography isn't great, but
I know
think
jack
I read that.
squat about New Zealand. Other than they have a funny accent and they call people Kiwis.
it's a country.
It is also a country.
They have giant eels.
Do they?
I think
that
they're
sounds
super endangered, but
I wonder why. They're very scary creatures.
I think they live in the streams.
If I saw a giant eel in the creek, I'd kill it.
Keep in mind, they're slow moving like giants kind of stuff. They're not like moray eels.
Okay.
Moray eels are actually scary. Not
Any
scary to look
sea
at.
monster is scary. Man.
Not scary to look at, but they are mean.
Ah, okay. Little assholes.
Also, if you don't know, the double jaws in Aliens, the xenomorph, how they have the inner jaw and the outer
You've
jaw,
told me this.
that is based on moray eels that have that.
Why? That's gross.
It's so they can hold onto stuff with
I
their
don't
front
need
jaw,
an actual
and
explanation.
then they can have their
this
throat
is not
jaw
what I asked
pull it
for.
in.
No, I didn't ask for a real explanation. I just want God to know
And also,
that I don't like it.
moray eels aren't sea monsters.
Yes, they are.
They're just regular animals.
They're little. Anything that is in the water and could possibly injure me is a sea monster.
A sea monkey.
Nope. Sea
No.
monkeys are safe.
I think you have to remember, though, moray eels actually live pretty close to the surface. They live in reefs and stuff.
Great.
So
More a chance for me to encounter them.
If you want to justify anything as a sea monster, you have to say anything that lives super deep down in the ocean where it's completely pitch black. Because we basically never see that stuff.
Because it's dark down there.
It's really dark down there, but that stuff doesn't come to the surface unless it's dying. And also, deep sea gigantism is a thing. So most of those things get really big. It's actually believed a lot of tales about sea monsters come from deep sea creatures that would end up coming towards the surface for whatever reason, like oarfish. That's
Like
where a lot.
what?
Oarfish. Have you ever seen a picture of an oarfish?
No.
That's what they believe a lot of sea serpents are based on.
Oh. Interesting. No, fuck
Because they're
that.
like long little fishy
Fuck
dudes.
that. Fuck that. I hate the ocean, man. Can we just eradicate this shit already? Can we get rid of it, please? I'm so scared of anything that comes slipping and sliding out of the water. Ugh. I hate it.
You just don't like creatures.
I don't.
Anglerfish are probably another thing you could justify as
Oh.
being a sea monster.
The anglerfish need to die. What is their purpose? Nothing. They provide nothing. Kill them.
Hunting. They got a little. Hey, making Finding Nemo more exciting.
Only slightly. Actually, that scared the shit out of me when I
I
was
was
a
like,
kid.
I'm sure that scared the shit out of
No,
you.
that movie was very scary as a child, actually. For me personally.
Do you want to get back on topic?
Sure.
Okay.
I didn't start this rant. You did.
Nah, you started it. You called things monsters. All right. This film was shot on Super 16 millimeter as
Oh,
opposed
60
to
millimeter.
35 to save money so that more money could be spent on effects.
That's actually sweet as fuck.
Because the effects were expensive
Yeah.
since there's so much gore.
Ugh.
On that note, the special effects were crafted by Bob McCarran and Richard Taylor. Additionally, there was apparently some miniature models that were done by Peter Jackson himself.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So that's kind of cool. that
Peter
he,
Jackson does some really, really good mini work, man.
worked on it himself. I got a long blurb here about rating stuff and like how it got banned in some countries.
Okay.
I'm just going to summarize. I think the funniest part of this is that one of the first countries to get this film was the UK.
Okay. Makes sense.
For review, right? And we've talked about it. The UK went pretty hard on horror movies.
Especially in the 90s.
The Video Nasties list
Yeah.
in the 70s and 80s and 90s and stuff, where they banned basically everything. But I think it's very funny that the ratings board got this film and they found the gore essentially so over the top that they thought it was funny. And so they almost gave this film a 15 certificate, which is the
Holy shit.
equivalency of like a PG-13 rating. Because they were like, the gore's so over the top, it can't be serious.
It can't be scary. Oh, that's fucking wild.
But then they eventually gave it an 18 rating because it was essentially more appropriate for what one would expect from an 18 film.
Okay, sure.
Which makes sense. Otherwise, this film ended up going to a couple different countries, but getting cut down.
Okay.
Mostly 94-minute cuts. Although it looks like the United States generally had an 85-minute version.
Okay.
That was the R-rated and then an uncut at 97 minutes.
Oh, so they never actually released the full cut in America.
No. It's kind of why I had to get it on video.
Shipped, yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
there really hasn't been any good physical releases of this film.
Really? That's kind of crazy, actually.
It's from Peter Jackson, but it's one of his small films before Lord of the Rings, so before he was famous. It however, is a well-liked film by Peter Jackson himself. He likes this film, as well as a lot of his early films. And in December 2018, he did announce plans to restore this film, along with his previous films, Bad Taste and Meet the Feebles.
That's fucking cool.
Potentially for a possible 4K release. So, obviously, that was a couple years ago now. 6.
God damn, yeah.
Nearly 7. Obviously, we had the pandemic and everything, so times are crazy. I don't know what the process of that is like, but I assume at some point Peter Jackson will end up working to get these films re-released as Blu-rays, 4Ks, something like that.
I hope so.
And I assume when he does so, it'll be the 104-minute version.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would, if not that, at least, make a multi-disc thing with all the versions of it on it.
Yeah. I will say, I was able to find it. I'm surprised I was able to find it.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you find it?
Places.
Just trying to help out the audience here.
You guys can look and find it. But let me put it this way. Most of the streaming versions that you can get readily available are 97 minutes.
Okay.
That's pretty standard, even on like Amazon and stuff. With that being said, ready to watch it?
Sure. We'll go get the trash can, but we'll be back in a minute.
You mean the bucket?
Oh, the bucket. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We just finished watching Dead Alive.
Or Brain Dead.
Yeah, well, look, I said we were going to use the American title.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we're in America, damn it.
USA.
No.
USA.
It's not one of those podcasts. We're not doing that.
I know you didn't like it.
Shut
Wasn't
the
your
fuck
favorite
up,
thing.
you stupid bitch.
I know you prefer Day of the Dead Bloodlines
Oh,
as your favorite zombie movie ever.
Kill yourself immediately. Throw yourself right out that fucking window, bro. I will applaud. Sorry, was that uncalled for? Was that a little too mean?
No, I think that was a fair response.
Okay, good. I'm glad it was. I'm glad it came off as okay. No, I actually really liked the movie. I'm glad we watched it.
It's a lot of fun.
It's fun. That's the big thing.
It is just absurdist and super bloody. If you're interested in it, you can go watch the trailer for this film. The trailer has no indication that this is a gory movie. It looks
Really?
like a straight up comedy of like Lionel trying to hide his mom, a la Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh my god. I mean, that's kind of what he's trying to do.
But it's so different.
That's so funny.
With that being said, we highly recommend you go, watch the movies before you listen to us review stuff because you should go in blind. We're going to give some spoilers, but we do recommend this one. I think both of us liked it.
Oh yeah, no, it's fun. It's a great movie for friends, I think.
That being said, I'm going to give a brief rundown, and then we'll get into talking about it, and that's where the major spoilers will be. So you want to hear a brief description before you consider watching it? Here it is. Basically, there's this guy. His name's Lionel, and Lionel lives with his mother. And his mother is just that very classic stereotype of like the I say very old, but like an elderly controlling mother.
Yeah. Kind of like, she's like helicopter mom, kind of. Always watching.
Yeah. Like to that degree of like, I need this child's life to revolve around me
Yeah.
at all times, but I'm also going to make him do everything I need done. I mean, there's a very, I think, poignant scene early on where she's talking about how she needs the whole house cleaned, and everything she says, Lionel's like, I just did that.
Yep.
And she just isn't listening. And she uses, like, emotional manipulation and everything to keep him under control. Really fucked up relationship.
Oh, extremely so.
But Lionel's mom ends up getting infected
yeah.
with zombieism.
Zombieism. A good word.
Well, we'll discuss how that happens later.
Through a turn of crazy events that seems to happen.
Just the whole movie. But long story short, she ends up becoming a zombie. And Lionel, I think both because he does love his mother.
Sure.
And admittedly is in this whole weird relationship with her where, like, he's weirdly codependent even though he's doing everything for her. And just because he doesn't know what to do with her reanimated corpse, ends up trying to just keep her in the house.
Just keep her. Yep.
So she doesn't hurt people, and, hijinks ensue because of that.
It does not go well.
No, in fact, it just gets progressively worse.
It just gets constantly worse.
Now, if that sounds good, we recommend you go watch it. If not, we're going to start talking about it. Now, right off the bat, I just said we were going to talk later about how his mom gets infected. And I think this is a great place to start with because the medium by which the infection spreads is actually how we start the movie, like with the cold open.
Yeah, it's cool.
So the zombie infection in this film is spread by, what is it, a Sumatran rat monkey?
Yeah.
Which the in-movie lore
Oh, God.
for how
Did
that
we ever talk
happened
about this?
is these Sumatran rat monkeys are found only on this one tiny island. And let me say, they are disgusting looking. It's
They're
like
disgusting.
a hairless rat and a monkey had a
Mixed.
baby.
Yeah. Are you going to say the name of the island, please?
What was the name of it?
It was... They found the Sumatran rat monkey on Skull Island.
Oh, yeah, it
the
was
same place
Skull
where
Island.
King Kong lives.
Which is pretty funny because Peter Jackson would go on to
Oh.
make King Kong.
It's awesome.
But, to make a long story short, the in-movie lore for how rat monkeys came about is some rats got off ships, onto the island, which is actually a really common thing. That's how rats get onto islands, is from humans. But then the rats raped all the local monkeys
Yeah.
and somehow rat monkeys.
Rat monkeys that when they bite you turn you into zombies.
Yeah, and it's a known thing by the locals.
Yeah, the locals use them for dark rituals or something or the other.
Because there is a very goofy Indiana Jones-esque sequence that ends in some locals chopping up a dude because he gets bitten scratched by the rat monkey.
Yep. And they're like, well, we can't keep him around.
And then they sell the rat monkey to New Zealand
Yeah.
because money. But yeah, the rat monkey ends up biting his mom before the mom stomps its head in. And it's great.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't know. I just thought that was like a very unique way to spread a zombie disease.
No, it's cool.
Because, normally it's just chemicals or some scientific disease or something like that, or a curse. And so the fact that it's not only an animal, which is interesting, but just the most absurd thing possible.
Like a surreal animal that when they actually show you, it's claymation. It looks disgusting and freaky. It's super cool. Like, I think it's so rad.
I just thought it was really unique, but it also matches the tone of this film. Because it's like, oh, I can't take this seriously.
No, you can't.
At all. And that's cool.
Every single moment of this film is the most unserious thing you've ever seen happen in your life, and then characters having the most serious reaction you've ever had in your entire life. And it's so funny.
Although it's over the top, like melodramatic acting.
No, yeah, but it's great. It's fun.
And I think that's kind of the big point for this film is, this is in the zombie category. And this is a funny movie, but it is very absurdist. I think the movie you kept likening it to was Living Dead 2. Or not Living Dead 2. Oh, my God.
I'm trying to think of what you were trying to get to.
No, I was thinking Return of the Living Dead, and I combined that with Living Dead. No, I'm talking about Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2, yeah. Well, at least in like a lot of the claymation aspects and like practical effect stuff.
Well, I was just gonna say with how like slapsticky and humorous this film is,
because at its heart, this movie is a rom-com, which is hilarious for me to say. By the way,
it is a rom-com,
and that's part of what makes it so funny.
But yeah, it's just got this weird tone, and I love it.
No, it is the epitome of fun.
The whole thing feels like a very violent cartoon. Like Looney Tunes or something.
It does feel very cartoonish. But that's what makes it work. And it makes so much more sense having seen it. The thing that you told me before the movie where they were like, yeah, we think like we give this like, an MP like 15 or something?
Yeah.
Because while, yes, I think it does need to be rated R or further.
Because it has the expectations of rating it R.
Yes. But actually watching the movie, it's just so grotesque that it is funny.
It's just cartoony.
It's cartoonish, but they do a great thing, and this is something I wanted to talk about, where the beginning of the movie, the grossness is minimal, and it's actually, like, gross. Like, it feels grotesque and disgusting and really pumps you up for the end of the movie. Because by the time you get to the end, because you've been prepped with all this actually gross shit, it's not gross anymore. It's funny and adds to the movie in a really fun way.
That's fair. I think the best way to describe it is as the film goes along, it gets more absurd.
Yeah.
So, like, the gore starts fairly realistic and down to earth, and by the end, it's just people are just hacking bodies apart with minimal effort and mulching stuff.
People are just exploding into blood clouds.
And yeah, it's just this escalation of absurdity.
But it's like, it's perfect for a movie that's this long because it makes it not feel as long. You know what I mean? Like, you would expect, at least I expected to, at some points, be kind of bored with it or, like, not entertained. But they just do such a good job at just as soon as you think that nothing can get more insane, it does something that you're like, okay, well, what the fuck what is this? Like, how'd that just happen? Come on, guys.
Exactly.
It's so, so good.
Now, if it isn't obvious, I think the way they really achieve this is the practical effects.
Oh, they look sweet.
And honestly, this film's very funny. It's well written for humor, but I think the big reason to go watch this is the effects. If you're a big fan of, like, blood and gore effects, this thing's great.
No, it's so good.
We already mentioned it. It has a lot of classical animation techniques and stuff, like stop motion. That's how they do the rat monkey.
Yeah.
Which is super cool and gross looking. But then they also have just a lot of practical makeup and stuff on the zombies.
Yeah.
They're falling apart and stuff.
They are falling apart.
And, I mean, they're straight up. I don't want to get too much into it, but the last, 20 minutes of this movie is just straight up constant gore and blood.
It's constant violence.
It is one of the most impressive like displays of viscera and gore I've ever seen in like a practical film like this.
No, yeah. No,
I-
it's fucking nuts.
I was looking up some of the stuff, and it's really the only post-movie like fact I have. But apparently, during the most famous scene in this movie, where I'll give you a hint here, Lionel's using a very specific weapon to kill zombies.
A lot of zombies.
They apparently used a reported 300 liters of fake blood, which
Holy fuck.
if you only know God's units, you know the correct unit of measurement.
Guys, we're not one of those podcasts. Stop.
That's 79.2 gallons.
Holy fuck, bro.
So yeah, this film just ramps up all the practical effects and stuff, but they all look really, really great.
They look fantastic.
Obviously,
bro.
there's a cartoony element to them.
Yeah.
Like they're not supposed to be like photorealistic.
Mm,
I mean, at one point we see someone's face imprint on a frying pan,
very like Tom and Jerry style.
but it all looks really, really good, and it really does sell everything.
No, yeah, it's what makes it work because the bulk of what makes this film good is the practical effects. If they lack in any sort of direction or don't work, the film would fall flat. But because they're so good, it works amazingly to bring all of the elements together.
If it sells it, Bob almost vomited a couple times.
I did almost throw up.
It was very specifically anything that involved vomit.
Well, I think we found something that triggers me.
That
bro.
was solely the stuff that got him. Nothing else. It was just vomit,
Yeah, well,
which makes sense because that's what made you vomit on
audition.
audition.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say.
I'm really glad I didn't just puke right there because there's no bucket. I would just throw it up on your floor. And you would have had to clean it up.
And so, all of that's really cool. But like Bob said earlier, and it's definitely a weird part of this film in hindsight, is that, like, plot-wise, while there is all this zombie nonsense going on, it is functionally a rom-com.
Yeah.
I would go further by saying it's functionally, at least plot-wise, a straight-up romance movie. The comedy
It
is
is.
nearly completely separate.
It totally is, and that's so fun.
So, we haven't really mentioned the character, but Lionel has a romantic love interest. Her name's Paquita Maria. Do you know her last name?
I don't know her full name.
I wrote it down, obviously. Paquita Maria Sanchez.
I would say that Lionel does not have a love interest in her. She has a love interest in Lionel, and he just has to figure it out.
It is probably the most soap opera forced love
It's insane.
entanglement I've ever seen, and I love it because it, again, fits the tone of this. But her grandmother, Paquita's grandmother, does tarot readings, and it's heavily implied that she's, like, actually able to tell the future.
Yeah.
And she foretells that Paquita's going to have this epic romance. It's going to be, like, her one big romance in her life, and it's going to last forever.
Yeah.
And she gets a sign that is Lionel, and so she just latches onto Lionel hard.
Yeah, she's like, all right, you're mine now.
Because Lionel is both very awkward,
Yeah.
and he struggles to recognize that she's actually into him.
Oh, it's so fun.
Which that hits too close to home sometimes.
But also, she's smooth as fuck, bro. She got him with such a good pickup line.
Oh, what was it? She was mispronouncing zoo, and she got Lionel to say, "Do you want to go to the zoo with me?"
And she goes, yes, I do, actually. He's like, fuck.
But yeah, it's that coupled with just Lionel's mom just keeps, even when she's not there, kind
Her
of
presence
preventing
is known.
the relationship.
Yeah.
In fact, that's why Lionel's mom gets bitten by the
Rat monkey
monkey.
because she's invading their date at the zoo. Old bitch. There are outtakes that just full of me calling that woman an old bitch. I hate her. But I hate her because she's comically insane and bad. Like, she's a great character.
Oh, she's a cartoonish, like, evil villain.
And it's awesome. It's so good.
But yeah, it's functionally speaking just a romance movie
Yeah.
in the plot parts that matter. Everything that isn't the actual romance between Lionel and Paquita is just gag stuff with the zombies.
It is.
Because what ends up happening is, Lionel keeps his mother in the basement. He's trying to keep her from biting people. But he keeps messing up.
Oh, he keeps...
And
Because
gradually more people get infected. So he's gradually just trying to
keep more zombies
keep more
in his
zombies.
basement.
So just more of the film becomes gag stuff as, Paquita and his relationship progresses and, like, falls apart because of the stresses of the zombie stuff.
Because he's keeping a horde of zombies in his basement.
And it's such a weird clash that somehow functionally works together because the romance of this film is so over the top. Like, it feels like a soap opera.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. It feels like a soap. Like
it can only exist in this false world with little depth.
Yeah, no. And that's what's so fun about this movie is it's so surface level. Like, you literally sit down to watch it and you just have to like, you just witness.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Head empty.
it's one of those films where it's like, it's very impressive, but it's a struggle to talk about it for me because I'm like, functionally speaking, nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
This is like a 5-minute story that they padded with gags and blood and vomit.
And yeah.
And it's great.
It's great. It's so good. What also helps is Lionel is he's a moron.
Oh, he is.
He's such a fucking goofball.
But he does such a great job acting it physically.
Yeah, he just is constantly tripping or falling, and like bad things occur because of it, but it is constant. It is a character trait that it works so well in a zombie film like this.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those films because so little happens. To make this film work, they really needed a good team with good actors, and I think everyone just does a great job.
Oh, it's all so good.
We haven't talked about it yet, but Peter Jackson directed this.
Yeah.
The cinematography
it's crazy.
how some of this stuff is shot and framed is insane. Really early on in the film, there's this stupid scene where Paquita's just climbing onto Lionel's balcony and he's running through his room that's decorated like that of a child's to like meet her on the balcony. And there's this insane pan shot from like beneath the balcony on them. And there's just a ton of little stuff like that where it's like, oh, this is technically impressive.
No, there's tons of really cool shit like that. There's tons of perspective stuff where like you'll get perspective stuff from the zombies or someone like that's shorter or taller, and it's super fucking cool.
My favorite stuff is the shadows. There's a couple scenes where we see
the shadows are
just
good.
We don't get to see it, but we see the shadows of something just absolutely absurd, and it's just like, wow.
Or you just see just the most absurd thing you've ever witnessed in the background of a shot. And it's like not even in the main shot. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just there because it's funny.
Or there's some nice forced perspective stuff. They have a character that's really short.
Yeah.
But through a bunch of scenes, it's definitely someone in a costume just running around on a increased size set.
Yeah, it's fucking sweet. It all looks really cool.
And like I said, it's the fact that this is a shitty movie with kind of a shitty concept, but they somehow pulled it off.
But that is what is magic. It's not a shitty movie with a shitty concept.
Shitty.
It's an amazing film with an amazing concept that's amazingly funny.
Solely because it was pulled off by this team of people.
Like,
I mean, Peter Jackson really brought the Lord of the Rings scale to blood and guts.
I was about to say, to New Zealand zombie film. Which I guess technically is not the... Well, no, those were technically demons, I guess.
They were demon zombies.
They were demon
Those are
zombies.
kind of the same thing.
Not really. Well, unless you ask Rek, and then they're basically the same thing.
Exactly my point. We've talked about a lot of, like, I think more the technical and, like, functional aspects of this film. But I think we should talk about the zombies.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they're really interesting.
Oh, okay.
Go figure. Because they're not... I don't even want to say it's not that they're not normal. It's just the way that they're portrayed is a little bit weird because of how goofy this film is.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, kind of the big thing I noted with them right away is when people become zombies, their corpses start rotting.
It's cool.
Really, really fast. And maybe rot's the wrong word, but they just become super...
They're super frail. Like, they just fall apart.
Yeah, destructible. I mean, I think part of that has to do with the gags in this film and how the gags work with just people being able to use a meat cleaver to just eviscerate bodies and like a tornado of limbs.
Like just ripping people's skin off or like de-skinning people or de-limbing people. Shit like that happens all the time.
But it means that like a couple of the zombies who stick around from the early parts of the movie to the end, like Lionel's mother, maintain damage because the film makes a really good point of
so good.
maintaining the stuff that happens to them. So they get progressively like really, really, really gross.
Lionel's mom by the end of the movie is fucking disgusting.
Well, all the zombies Lionel keeps in his basement with her at the beginning of the film,
like
just
the fucking greaser with no ribcage,
become really cool and I think really unique.
No, they are cool.
Like I'm used to seeing zombies that get damage and stuff and rot, but it's hard to find zombies that are so unique in how much they've changed and been warped.
No, I really appreciate that because it adds a layer of realism to a not at all real movie, if that makes sense, and it makes it grounded just enough to maintain like, okay, you know what? I'll suspend my disbelief. I get it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like keeping this reality held together makes it work.
Yep. I think my favorite is there's one zombie who is it's nearly headless,
Yeah.
and every once in a while its head will flip off, and
Yep.
it's great.
It's so funny. And that's something I was talking about. Like when she does that, they'll flip the camera and do it upside down from her perspective, and it's so good.
But, aside from that, the zombies feel weirdly, I don't know, alive in some ways.
Yeah, I think that's fairly interesting.
For instance, Lionel's mom keeps following Lionel around,
Yep.
and very distinctly, and this actually happens with a couple of the zombies, just not biting Lionel,
Nope, they just won't bite him for some reason.
which maybe it's a carryover for how obsessed his mom was with him, and she's the first zombie.
Yeah. Well, it also feels like some of the ones that don't bite him that he keeps around are people that he knew and like him, if that makes sense.
I don't know. It was just a weird thing. But the thing I want to note here is like a bunch of the zombies, at least the ones we get to see closely, do things that are very like you could imagine them doing in real life.
They're very human.
They eat real food at one point, like
Yeah.
Lionel's feeding them. Two of the zombies are very sexually attracted to each other,
Constantly trying to bang.
and that's just amazing.
It's hilarious.
So yeah, there's just a ton of really weird stuff like that. I mean, when you combine that with their generally just progressively rotting and worsening appearances, just makes it stand out even more. It's like, oh, they feel vaguely alive.
Yeah, and I think that's cool.
Plus, there's some other weird stuff where chemicals still work on them.
Yeah, which I think is interesting.
Like the zombies get poisoned and drugged up a couple
they
times.
get tranquilized.
And it's like, oh, this works, even though they're rotting.
Yeah, I don't really know. That's the thing is, a lot of this is very loose.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all super loose and tied together.
It's set in a cartoonish-like universe.
Exactly.
Like, there's a bottle of poison with the skull and bones on
It
it.
just says poison with the skull and crossbones. Like that's in the fucking things of tranquilizer are just giant like
Jugs.
brown jugs with tranquilizer written on the side. Like this movie is cartoonish and absurd and insane. So all this shit that we were mentioning, I don't care because it's funny.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I thought the zombies were really unique. They also seem to only spread by bite and not all the blood
Which
and
I
fluids
think is
coming out of
fucking
them.
cool.
Which is cool, because there's some gags where blood gets in people's mouths and stuff.
There's a gag where something happens.
And it almost made Bob vomit. But
Yeah.
yeah, they functionally kind of remind me of zombies from Return of the Living Dead,
Kinda.
if they weren't as intelligent,
Yeah.
combined with, or I guess maybe more Return of the Living Dead Part 2, because of how cartoonish they are.
Yeah, that's fair. But they're not nearly as alive as the ones in Return Part 2.
No, they're not as alive as the ones from the Return franchise, but they do still have that goofiness and weird
Yeah.
like damage about them. I don't know. I thought they were unique. I thought that was cool.
No, it is really cool. I'm glad we got, I would say of the zombie films we've watched so far, this one felt the most traditional outside of the Romero films.
And Return.
In Return. Well, not even Return. Return is not traditional in my mind at all.
Those are traditional zombies. That's where brain eating comes from.
Yeah, but they're unkillable.
That's fair.
These zombies are plenty and they get mowed the fuck down. And that's really what I want from a zombie film most of the time. Is I want to see a bunch of dead guys rip some people apart and then get mowed down too.
That's fair. I will say these are the zombies that you have to destroy all the pieces, because like the hands will start
True.
acting independently, which
Yeah.
is super fun.
I love shit like that though.
At one point, some intestines like become their own sentient thing.
And start entangling people. Yeah, it's pretty fucking sweet.
It is cool. I think the only thing we really haven't touched on is the fact that this is set in like 57,
Yeah,
59?
it's set in 1957 and filmed in 1992.
And that's just,
It's an interesting choice.
it's an interesting choice. To be honest, for me, it feels like it adds to the absurdity of everything.
It does. It does because it feels like the like the nuclear family like sort of setting in my mind. You know what I mean? And to have a zombie romance comedy thing happening in that period is
between
crazy.
Paquita and
Yes.
Lionel?
Yes.
Okay. See, the thing I was going to point out is I think Peter Jackson did this as an homage to 1950s monster movies.
That makes sense.
Like, the whole thing feels like a shitty B movie from the 50s.
it does.
And
it
I
does.
love it.
And that's a great aspect. Like, it's so fun.
And it's a little thing, but like great.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Outside of that, I think the only thing we haven't mentioned is there's some great like bit characters.
Oh,
Lionel's uncle is disgusting,
Lionel's uncle is disgusting.
but he's fun.
Like, he's definitely a dirtbag piece of shit, but he does some cool stuff.
There's a priest.
No, the priest is the coolest character in the whole film.
He looks like what's his name?
He looks like Bill Hader.
From Monty Python.
Well, no, I'm not talking about Bill Hader.
No, he does
talking
look
about
like Bill Hader. What's that guy's name from Monty
I
Python?
have no fucking idea. I literally do not know. Oh, at one point, they Black Knight one of the zombies. If anyone gets that, that's a Monty Python reference. So good.
They do.
They do. It's hilarious. The priest even does it. I don't know who he looks like from Monty Python.
I'm looking it up. I think John Cleese.
No, that guy does not look like John fucking Cleese. I know what John Cleese looks like.
Does he not?
No, you're thinking of, well, maybe a little bit, but not really. He didn't have a mustache.
He didn't have a mustache.
Now, the other dude that was with the priest, that guy looks like John Cleese. The other guy with the mustache.
I don't know. I was looking at that priest the whole time while he was doing insane, sick ass shit, and I was like, "You look familiar."
I don't want to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to spoil what the priest does because it's too cool. If you want to know what the priest does, go watch this movie.
But yeah, there's just a ton of like little background characters where every time they add someone new, it's like, oh, this person has some unique gimmick about them.
Yeah, and it's fun. It keeps you from getting bored because you meet this character and go, oh, this is like every character subverts your expectations. Like it is just not at all what you think it should be or is.
Not in a this is so well thought out and unique, but in a what the fuck is this?
Yeah, what? Why is this happening on my screen right now? This movie, I mentioned it during the film. I don't know if I mentioned it now. This reminds me a lot of The Day of the Beast.
That's a good comparison. It's just over the top.
It's over the top and insane, but grounded enough that I could buy it. And it's fun.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it's grounded enough.
It is though.
But it is absurd fun, and I had a good time. Do you have anything else you want to talk about, or you just want to go to recommendations?
I think I'm good. I think I've talked enough about this film.
Okay. Well, you get to start with recommendations.
Oh, you're right. That's how this works, huh?
Yep.
It's only been a week, and I've already forgotten the format of the show. That's crazy. If you want a fun movie, this is a fun movie. That's my big thing. If like a fun zombie film is what you're looking for, this is perfect. If you're interested in a movie from New Zealand, we've watched quite a few for the show. This is a great movie from New Zealand. And we have not watched a single bad movie from New Zealand yet.
2 for 2.
Well, we've watched more than 2, I think.
Really?
I think so. Was Blackwater New Zealand?
No, that was Australia.
Was that Australia? Close, but not the same. If you like gore and practical effects, this movie goes crazy with them. This movie is fucking nuts with practical effects and gore. And it all looks really, really, really good. Even the stuff that looks okay is still really good, if that makes sense. Like, it's still on the upper end of okay.
Yeah, this is insane for, what, $3 million?
Yeah, no, this is fucking crazy. If you like stop motion and claymation, this movie has a lot of it. We haven't even talked about the cooler ones because they're big spoilers. So if you're interested in that, check it out. I think that's it.
Okay. Well, I think the big one you didn't mention is if you're a fan of Peter Jackson.
Oh, yeah, if you like Peter Jackson.
This is maybe not normally what you'd associate with him, but I think this is kind of a good intro to his older works, which tend to be a bit weird and wacky.
A bit insane?
Yeah. Hopefully, he'll be putting out a nicer copy of it in a couple of years.
That would be so nice.
That's like uncut, because like I said, it's hard to find in the greatest quality. Otherwise, I mean, I think the big thing is if you're looking for a dark comedy, this movie's very, very funny. So it's great with friends and stuff like that. It's also really great if you're into practical effects or just classic ways of doing special effects in a film, stop motion, miniature, stuff like that. But kind of a pro and a con to this film is just how gory it is.
True.
Like, this is insane, cartoonish, bloody levels of fun. And that's like a great selling point if that's what you're looking for. But it can also be pretty gross at times. I mean, I've already said that Bob almost vomited.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you do have an issue with lots of blood and lots of gore and stuff, I wouldn't recommend it, but that could be something you're into. That being said, you want to give it a rating?
I want to give it a big number.
That's okay.
The big number.
You can give it the big number.
But I think you have a good point, Ben. I think you made a really good point there at the end.
What was my point? Like, which one?
The gore stuff. Like, I get why. Like, okay, my girlfriend likes horror movies, but I wouldn't show the story because she doesn't like blood and guts and stuff. You know what I mean?
But she might be able to handle this because of how absurd it is.
Maybe, but I don't think she can. We were talking about stuff earlier today, and it would not go well. My point is, I think while I personally love this movie, I think it's so fun and so ridiculous and insane. It's not for everybody, and I think that stops me from giving it a 5, because I can't just like show this to, like, I would not show this to like my girlfriend or my sisters or anybody, because they wouldn't be into this. This feels like a very particular type of film for a particular type of person, and it just so happens that we're both those types of people.
See, but I would argue that this film hits all the beats it intends to. It's not trying to appeal to a general audience.
But I think that
It's
is
trying
an important aspect of being a good movie.
to appeal to fans of splatter. I mean, yeah, it is the benefits of a good movie, but no movie can be universally effective.
True.
A film, I think, at its heart has to go, this is what I want to be, and I have to be as good at that as possible. And I do think this film does that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I can give it a 5, even though I really want to.
So what are you going to give it?
4.5.
Oh.
As close as I can give it without giving it a 5.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Yeah, I knew you would. And I really, really wanted to. But critically, this movie, it needs just one more thing to it. Just one more deeper element, and I think I could push a 5.
Because, as far as films go, I think all the effects look great. The premise and story and everything feels exactly like an homage and mockery of 1950s sci-fi horror stuff.
Yeah.
And, overall, it just feels like a labor of love that sought out to do this very, very specific vision and just hit all the stops,
Yeah.
And I don't think I can give it less than a 5 because objectively, this is an insane concept to pull it off, and I think they did an amazing job with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might not appeal to some people, but the people it's not going to appeal to, I think, are just, generally speaking, not fans of horror anyways. This isn't made for a general audience, but neither was horror in 92?
Yeah.
So I think it's really great. It was a lot of fun.
No. Yeah, I agree.
With that being said, I guess we get to go to the outtakes now.
Yeah. Well,
See you in a minute.
yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the outtake section for this episode of Beware the Board. I hope you're enjoying our review of Dead Alive so far. I really like this film. I think it's super duper fun. But without further ado, let's get into the outtakes. This first clip is our reaction to seeing the Sumatran rat monkey for the very first time. What the fuck?
It's a rat monkey.
What the fuck? Yo, that thing is so fucking cool. This next clip is me complaining about how truly awful Lionel's mother is. Why does this old bitch have to ruin everything? She gets bit by a fucking rat monkey carrying a zombie virus. Now
You don't know
she's
it's
ruining
carrying a
her-
zombie virus.
Benjamin.
You don't know that.
I do know that. And then
You
she
didn't-
ruins her son's awfully nice date where he was having a good time with
Well,
his
she
woman.
did that on purpose.
Yes. Stupid old bitch. This next clip is my reaction to this film starting to get gross. Ew! That was fucking disgusting, Ben! What the fuck?
Looked like strawberry cream cheese.
No, it looked. I'm really glad you grabbed that bucket. If that's more we got in store for this one. Oh no, he's gonna come in here. This is gonna be. Oh no! This next clip is why, if you ever see a dog in a horror movie, you should look away. Oh no! Fernanda! No, the dog's gonna eat his mom!
Zombie dog.
No, she ate the dog! Whole? She ate the dog whole? This is fucking disgusting. That's the name of the episode. Your mother ate my dog. This next clip is exactly why you shouldn't disrespect someone's mother.
I love the fact that these are greasers, and
They
they're
are
supposed to be
greasers.
mean, but objectively, they found a grave robber and stopped him.
Yeah. Well, now they're robbing him.
He's a grave robber.
Okay, now they're pissing on him.
Oh, his dick. His
No.
dick.
Oh, his
dick!
He's pissed on his mom's grave. This guy's so dead. Oh, no! This next clip is our reaction to exactly why I said the priest was the best character in the entire film. What is he, a monk? He's gonna fucking...
It's Kung Fu.
Holy shit! Divine Intervention knows fucking karate! Oh! He's kicking the shit out of them! He does indeed kick ass for the Lord. This is the best priest we've seen in a film.
He's got the power of God and anime on his side.
He does! Look at him, he's going fucking crazy! This next clip is our reaction to Lionel's creative choice of weapon against the zombie horde.
Best part of the movie. Do you see what that is?
No fucking way. What the fuck? No way,
Lawnmower.
he's gonna fucking lawnmower all these zombies. This is fucking crazy. I guess if his uncle did it with a cleaver, man could do it with a lawnmower. Probably a lot easier. This next clip is our reaction to just how grotesque Lionel's mother has become by the end of the film. No, this thing is so cool. I don't even care. I don't even care about how gross its giant titties are and its gigantic ass. What the fuck? This thing is disgusting and I hate it. But it's also really fucking cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome back from the outtakes. Do we have any announcements, Ben? I don't think so, right?
Not really.
Don't mention it.
At some point, we'll release some extra content. Maybe. It's been rough recently, guys. We're sorry, but like, assumedly, we're gonna hopefully get some stuff besides, holiday stuff and, the podcast out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we've been meaning to record multiple episodes. We'll get more than one. Like we did 2 last week. We're only recording 1 today.
But we've just been tired and stuff.
It's just not falling on good days, for real, for real.
But hopefully stuff like that will come out before the 2-year anniversary.
That
We'll
would
see.
be crazy.
Otherwise, usual spiel. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you're checking us out on any of those platforms or any other podcast-specific place, please give us a quick rating or review. That really helps us out with getting recommended on those platforms. You could also maybe suggest the podcast to a friend you think who would enjoy it. We really appreciate that. That's a really cool thing to do, and that's probably the best way to spread us around like a rat monkey infection.
Stop.
Otherwise, check us out on YouTube. It's not the best place for audio-only content, but it's really nice for us. Like, that's how we gauge you guys enjoying the thing. Likes, subscriptions, stuff like that. We really appreciate it. Besides that, YouTube has a couple tools that you might appreciate. There's a search button, which lets you search keywords in all our episodes. So if you're looking for something like a movie title, that's a really easy way to find if we've covered something. There's also a bell button, which lets you get notified whenever we post something new, which probably not been super helpful recently, but whenever we post something out of our usual Friday format.
Oh, I'm so glad you actually got it right for once. That's crazy.
That'll ding you and let you know. Because we're not always the best about telling you guys in advance.
Sometimes we forget, okay?
Sometimes we forget.
Sometimes we forget we've recorded so many in the backlog that it's like, well, we should have announced that 4 episodes ago. What are we doing?
With that being said, the big thing with YouTube is it's one of the 2 major places to communicate with us at. You can do that in the comment section of a specific video if there's something you want to talk to us about in that episode. Or you can go over to Twitter, @BewareTheBoard, and go talk to Bob. Maybe, read his fortune.
Oh, that would be cool. I would love for someone to read my fortune with tarot cards, and it would probably be horrible, actually.
All bad.
All bad.
And
Yep.
stop suddenly.
God damn you.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. Fuck off. Oh my god. Like Ben said, check us out on Twitter @BewareTheBoards, where we post updates about the show, information about the show. Basically, if there's anything you want to know about the show, It goes on our Twitter. On Mondays, I post a spoiler post for that week's episode, which is a hidden movie cover you can reveal, so you can watch the film before we do. So when it releases the episode, you don't get any spoilers, or we're being vague about stuff, you know what we're talking about. Then on Fridays, or whatever day the episode goes live, I always post a link to the episode. So if you ever want to know when something went up, there's always a link on our Twitter. Last thing, we have short form content for the show over on @BewareTheBoard on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts.
It's been the same stuff for about 6 months now.
That's not true.
4 months.
No, hold
3?
on. Hold on. I'll go look right now. You piece of shit. I'm doing this on air because you've pissed me off. Well, it's only been like 3 months, bro. Come on now.
I said 3 and you told me no.
For the first time you said 6.
It was April 7th.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 months ago.
Yeah, so it's nothing new. So if you've seen it, sorry.
But support the show, please. Thanks.
Yeah.
But if you want to support the show and like short form content, check us out @BewareTheBoard on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts.
I make memes occasionally.
That's true, and I forget to post Ben's memes occasionally.
Oh my god, I think it's so funny because on the wrap up, I was like, I made a meme. You definitely haven't posted it, and you hadn't posted it. And I
Nope.
made it like a week before we recorded that.
Yep, it'll come out after it's been posted. It's been up since that episode will come out, and it will have been up.
It's out now.
It's out as of recording this. It's been out for like 2 weeks post this. Still,
It's an Alex Jones reference.
it is an Alex Jones meme.
Somehow we didn't make the joke
Somehow
on
we
air.
did make the joke on the podcast, and it's insane when you think about the movie we were watching.
because we quote Alex Jones a lot off the
We
podcast.
do. Well,
Not
don't say it
'cause we like
that.
him.
No, I was gonna say not because we like Alex Jones.
But because he says some insane shit.
He says some crazy shit. I'm an American. I'm a carnivore. I'm a pioneer. I fucking love Alex Jones so much.
Putting
He's-
chemicals in the water.
He's turning the friggin' frogs gay. God. Anyway, we should wrap up the podcast.
All right, well, this is episode 1 of season 10.
Yeah.
I hope you liked it. Hopefully the rest of the season will be this good.
Hopefully. Oh Lord.
Looking forward to next time when Bob will either choose kaiju or cosmic horror because he doesn't choose the same thing twice in a row.
I'll choose all 3 of these now.
No, you won't.
You're right.
We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. See you guys next time.